Well, good morning to an unexpectedly beautiful morning. It was not supposed to snow, but I'll take it anytime we can get it. I'm hoping it sticks around for a while. But today I'm briefly starting the morning stone shaping a little bit for the fireplace, as we're going to finish up the fireplace in a couple of days here, and I want to get the stone threshold, or I don't know what you want to call that thing, all wrapped up and finished up. I mentioned a while ago that this firebox that you see as it is currently is just simply too tall, both functionally and aesthetically. And that's because we wanted to have a thick layer of stones that kind of raised up that front level, as well as added that aesthetic little thick lip on the front edge of the fireplace box. This guy is shaping up here quite nicely for the first half of this row in the back, and then the back stones behind there can be different thicknesses and kind of raise up to that level using cement and mortar, but I need to make sure that these two stones match the exact same thickness. Well, I'm back to tiling, and that's very good news, because if you remember, recently I had to stop because I ran out of tile as the last two boxes were shattered. I went back to the store, and their initial response was, "We don't carry that tile anymore." And I actually thought for a good while that I would have to rip up the entire floor and start over. Thankfully, they made a few calls around, found the original supplier, got 2 more boxes, which is all I needed, and now I am back to it. But the tiles that lean against the stone, they take a very long time to cut out all of these curves. And then, yes, I just had to make it a lot more difficult by having wires popping up on the floor here. We have 3 wires that come up through the floor. Those are for accent lights that will hide behind the bathtub there. They are waterproof lights, I made sure. And then it'll splash light up against this stone wall as an accent light. Well, a huge thank you to our friends at Delete Me for sponsoring today's video. If you aren't aware, Delete Me are the privacy experts that we trust to go out there, scour the internet, find our personal information, and have it removed. When you sign up for Delete Me, within 7 days, you'll get a privacy report showing all of the different locations that your private information is being kept out there public for people to gather. And when we received ours, I was quite surprised by how much information was out there, personal information that we want to keep private. Then after you get that privacy report, their privacy experts will go out there and work on your behalf to have all of that information removed, and then they're constantly monitoring the internet, making sure that new information doesn't pop up, and if it does, they go and have that removed as well. This is not just a simple way to slow down all of those phishing emails and spam phone calls, but this is a really solid line of defense to stop against actual scam and identity theft. We've been trusting Delete Me to handle this for us for a very long time now, and when you get that first privacy report, you'll be glad you did as well, because it is just a little scary how much information is out there. Right now, if you also want to join Delete Me, you can go to joindeleteme.com/Voyagers to get 20% off, or simply use the coupon code Voyagers at checkout. So go ahead, take control of your personal information, and thank you so much to Delete Me for sponsoring today's video. There's a crack. For the record, I will never be tiling ever again. Or at least don't have so many holes coming through the tiles. My goodness. I'm finally in the home stretch of tiling this bathroom, and I'm ready to be done, to be honest. And yeah, I know it's not the best to end off with a small little skinny strip like that. Normally you would plan for it and try to split the difference between the rooms, but I kind of chose it this way. I wanted the line coming off of the shower pan to continue on with that grout line, and same on this side as well. Just one of those aesthetic decisions that has a little bit of consequences. In this case, a thin little strip of tile along this far wall, but it doesn't really bother me. And it's on the back end of the wall, so it's not like your eye draws to it or anything like that. And yes, this will be the last time I tile in this house, and possibly ever again. You can hold me to that. Hopefully I won't be stubborn and change my mind. I was stubborn in this situation because I want to just keep moving forward and try new skills and all of that. And everyone told me don't do your own tiling, but it's turning out pretty good. It's just taking me a little bit longer than I would like it to. So I'm definitely going to bring in someone to help and even help teach me when we do the rest of the floor and the rest of the house. I'm not sure what it is about thin set versus concrete or lime render or anything else, but it just eats through my hands like nothing else. The first couple of days of tiling, I just wore standard gloves and my hands were just like bleeding and cracked and just destroyed. So the last couple of days I've been double gloving like so. It's made a big difference. Honestly, the only appropriate response to seeing me tiling should be total, utter embarrassment. Not because of how it's turning out and looking, but because of the process of how I get there. This is just disgusting. And I know that temporarily looks like I'm ruining the floor, but there's just mud everywhere. And you just saw how much mud was smeared all over all of those tiles. And what I'm not showing you is the back end of behind the camera of all this debris and disaster. And it's just disgusting and embarrassing, but the tile itself looks good and all of this mud will clean up. Yes, it does take a very long time, but I just have not learned how to build and do this type of work without making a complete mess. I'm happy to be done with this. I know I'm gonna have to wash the floor like 15 more times to get it properly clean. That film, if you've ever tiled before, there's a film that gets on the tile that just takes ages to wash off. You feel like you spend more time washing than you do laying the tile. But it feels really good to be finally finished and see it all come together. I was, as I mentioned before, nervous about tackling the tiling, But I really needed to get it done so that we could keep moving forward. It's time to install the bathtub to get all of the fixtures in, as the bathroom is one of the primary rooms that has to be finished in order for us to move in. But with that, I'm going to call it a night because it's dinner time. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.